So I'm Seisogan, also known as Renamata online for my art stuff, and this is DJ, also known as Dev, who does YouTube and is a VTuber slash PH YouTuber. Woo! This is our first podcast for the Moon and the Mirage, where he's the moon and I am some fucking grasshopper. Oh wait, I'm not supposed to swear in the first minute, aren't I? Whoopsies. Oh well.
Yeah, we'll just talk about that later, yeah.
It's okay, we can bleep it out. It's fine. Anyway, today's topic, we'll be talking about the downfall of gaming. What a very intriguing topic. So, what are you pulling up?
That's how topic makes me feel. Yeah.
I agree with that. So what are your points so far? Or what do you think about the whole gaming climate as of now? What do you think of games?
I personally think the stuff about games is it's all going downhill. And here's why it's going downhill.
Okay.
The first point is the price of gaming. Games used to be like 60. Heck, back in my dad's day, they used to be even cheaper. But most games used to be box standard, like AAA 60, right?
Yeah.
AA was like 40, 30, and indies were below that. Right, and that's how it used to be. And then AAA games with the new console generation went to $70. $70. The extra 10 kind of just ruined everything. And it wouldn't have been bad if they actually made the games better. But they didn't. Like, not even a little bit.
The thing about games though is that recently they've become much more kind of more of an investment for a lot of companies. Especially now since gaming has become so mainstream that it's for a lot of AAA games, it's very common for them to not only just be the games themselves that they rely on for revenue. They have to make sure it's popular, they have to make sure it has an active player base, even if it's not even a multiplayer game. But also, they may have other like tie-in projects as well, such as Cyberpunk with its anime. There's just I get the price raise. I get the price raise for newer games, but I do agree it is quite a hefty bit, especially in this economy.
Yeah, but that's what led to leads, I can't speak English, to my second point, is that most games are becoming a live service. They're becoming, like you said, an investment, where they're less focused on the game's quality and more focused on what they can add to the game. Like, how many microtransactions can they put in the game? How much stuff that they can spread out and bar into DLC or updates or this. They'll give you a halfway project. They'll give you a fixer-upper and expect you to invest while they're slowly fixing it when you only paid for the actual full house. Like, that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
There's recently been a lot more very important day one bug fixes for games. Or like you have to install it the day of because they just didn't catch those bugs before release, and sometimes they're game breaking, and sometimes they really suck. And even then, that's if they fix them. There's quite a very notable list of a bunch of different games that were super buggy from the get-go. Starfield is one. Honestly, a lot of Bethesda's latest releases have been pretty lackluster with day one experiences. Then there's another thing. More recently have I seen season passes for games that aren't even online, like multiplayer.
Got any examples?
I do actually. A lot. I've been seeing it in Nintendo, surprisingly.
Nintendo for real.
Kind of. So they've been pushing out a lot more DLC stuff, which I think is understandable. I think it's fine, but at the same time, it's been pretty consistent. Like, for example, with the latest Pokemon games, they've been pretty consistent in making DLC for it. But it's like crazy DLC, and I think while it is worth it because I do add quite the amount of content, it's just that plus on top of a already pricey game that's around, I believe, $60 right now.
Yeah, like if I look at the most recent Pokemon. Or what was it? Isn't it like Scarlet and Violet?
Yes, yeah. It's Scarlet and Violet.
Yeah, just go look at Pokemon. Let's look at the Ayo. Hold on.
Oh, you're fucking never.
Hold on. That I got sidetracked for a second. Oh my god. Got sidetracked. I was about to low-key type in Pokemon Go.
No way.
I was about to say that would have been bad. There we go. Yo, can you tell me the prices? There we go. I'm never on this website. But let's say Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, they're still both $60. The deluxe version's $112.
To be fair,
the DLC bundles are also $30. Yeah. But let's just look at the bundle. That's like $34.99. And that's just one. That's just...
Yeah, that's one of the DLCs. It's $35.
Yeah. It's part 1 and part 2 of legit the same DLC. And that's what I also hate. Part 1 and part 2 is a DLC.
Yeah. They released...
Why couldn't they give us it fully? Now, I get it if it's like narratively different. You know, if it feels like 2 full-size DLCs, then... whatever, right? But a lot of games are just doing that nowadays. Or just like half and half. But that leads to my like other problem, third point, right? It's the lack of lowering prices for games. Just in general.
Yeah. Like,
why can't a sale go on and then if your game's like 8 years old, why is it still $60? I remember like they just ported, was it Red Dead?
Red Dead Redemption?
Yeah, Red Dead Redemption on Steam, right?
Hey. Oh, nice! It's on sale right now.
Don't they have? Yeah, they have the second one's on sale. I'm just seeing if the first one's on here, because I wonder if it's full price. The original Red Dead is, what, did I just see $50? Hold on. Original Red Dead is $49.99. This game is super old.
It is.
$49.99.
I believe it released on, what, the Xbox 360?
Yeah. But, like, just in case, you know, release date. Just in case, I just want to say, bro.
Oh my god, it's already been 14 years. Wow.
14 years, selling it at $50. No deal. Stuff like that, man. Stuff like that. This is why I feel like this. It all comes back to the stupid sad faces. That's what I feel
if I remember correctly, same thing with Breath of the Wild. It's been like... shit, when did it release? 2017, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, somewhere in March 2017. And to my knowledge, if I go look it up right now on the official Nintendo website, and I look at the digital prices, not even physical, it's... Yep, it's still full price. And that's also, and same thing with the DLC, $30 for the expansion pass. Oh shit, no wait. Apologies, I have to double check.
No problem.
Okay, I read the price a little wrong, I believe. My bad. But still, the base game itself is still full price, even after all these years.
After all these years.
After all these
It makes it so hard to buy a game. If the prices are still the same for older games, like what if you need to rebuy it real quick? You're expecting an older game to cost less than a newer game, which it does. $49.99, you know, the stuff you're talking about, Breath of the Wild, but it's still too high of a price to make it anything worth it, you know what I mean?
Yeah. They already got their day one sales. They already got their, you know, their lifetime, like, starter sales. Breath of the Wild was a success. A lot of people bought it, myself included, when it came out. So if someone wanted to buy it again for, I don't know, collector's purposes, maybe they don't want to, you know, only have a physical copy. Maybe they kind of dropped it in the sink when they were washing it.
Okay.
I'm not sure why they would be washing it. They would have to buy
dropped it in the sink is crazy.
You never know. They would have to buy it at the same price they did all of these ago. Which, while technically it's at a lesser value due to over time inflation, it's still quite a decent amount. You could eat some damn good dinner for $60. You could
buy a new game.
You could buy groceries with that money.
Yeah, you could do so much for older games. But yeah.
Or even better, you could buy multiple indie games for that money.
Yeah, that's what
although
leads to the other
personally,
point.
I do believe Breath of the Wild is a good game.
Yeah, the game's good.
Yeah.
But that's where it leads to the other point. It's indie games. And how much better indie games are compared to AAA games, price-wise, and basically just anything-wise.
The thing about AAA, though, is you kind of get some sort of security with them. As with indie developers, since, like, they don't have, like, too harsh of schedules, from what I've seen. They don't have, like, committees to please. Which, like, it's both, like a benefit and also comes at a price.
Well,
because there's less money to fund the project. But they're also more freer with the decisions they make for the games.
I would rather have something that is of lower quality because of the price than something high quality that comes out half-baked, half-made, that's not even as good as what we want it to be, and that costs max price, you know what I mean? I'd rather have something come out with some actual passion, even if it's not the highest quality thing, not the best voice acting, not the best, and something like that. You know, something we can definitely tell that there's been passion put into it and skill put into it compared to the laziness that AAA games are for nowadays.
Yeah. You know, one thing, just to continue talking about indie games more recently, I've been noticing that indie games, they've been talked about quite a lot. There's been a lot more push for like indie games, you know, as a community, you know, for like how popular they are compared to big games.
Because I know, like, one game I've been playing recently is Chained Echoes. Stupid irritation, hates you, Nintendo. But yeah, this is a game I've been playing where it's just like a small little RPG, but there's so much quality, passion, and like skill put into it, and for a reasonable price. Like if I go check, Steam price, right?
Yeah.
Because this is one of the slightly bigger indie games. Over here, I'll load eventually one day. $24.99 for a whole game. Base game, $24.99. This game, I have at least, 50 hours into this right now. To be fair, I'm about to finish the game. But I would say this is much worth, way better worth than just, I don't know, picking up your AAA whatever that you'd spend money on constantly. In my opinion. And there's other indie games too that are of that quality too. I think people get all caught up on oh no, my indie game. What if it's hyper low quality? What if it never comes out because there's no real schedule they had to go by or stuff like that. And I feel like that's the risk you take. AAA, the risk you take is the game is coming out incomplete, half-baked. Indie games, the game might not even come out. They might not get enough funding. They both have their pros and cons.
Yeah. There's actually, oh my god, now that you mention more about indie games, there's also how sometimes games by certain developers will be discontinued or shelved away. For example, one of my dearly beloveds, Patapon on the PlayStation Portable. By far one of my favorite rhythm games and tactical games I've ever played. And after the third game on, I believe, either the PSP or the PS Vita, it's been a while, it was gone. There has been no more stuff aside from 2 remasters of the first 2 games, and that's it. But the developers of it, the original people behind the games, have decided to make their own Patapon without Sony. Except it's not Patapon, it's called Rataton, where it's kind of it's different. It's different, but it still has that core mechanic of leading your army into battle with rhythm. And so far, it's been very promising. They've been doing a Kickstarter campaign and doing pretty frequent updates, as well as engaging with the community. And it looks good, and that's something I'm excited for.
Alright. It's just, what's another thing to talk about for the state of gaming and why it's so poor? Oh yeah, all the layoffs. All the layoffs.
Shit, layoffs. Oh my god, fuck. Hi-Fi Rush. You just reminded me of what happened.
Yeah, Hi-Fi Rush was one of the biggest things.
I loved Hi-Fi Rush. I love them so much.
What's one layoff that comes to mind? I think there's one layoff that hits hard. The Bungie layoffs. Go in the Verge article. I remember this happening. I remember getting so
could you
bad.
recap it?
What you said?
Could you recap it for little me who forgot?
So basically, like I said, when Bungie moved to PlayStation, they laid off a bunch of people, right? Specifically 220 people. And what made this such a bad point in time was that, I remember I was there because I played Destiny 2. What made it so bad is that we were already in a pretty negative spot overall. And then this wasn't the first layoffs. This was just around, just a couple more layoffs. This happens all the time. And it something about this one hurt more than usual.
Yeah.
oh, you moved to PlayStation, so now we're laying off a bunch of people. Oh, you moved to this, so we're laying off a bunch of people. Like, it feels like their company's slowly getting eaten up. And that leads to a whole nother thing. Companies are getting eaten up whole. Like, I know the people who made the, trying to think, the Tomb Raider remakes, you know, the gritty ones?
Yeah.
Trying to think. Like, Rise, Tomb Raider, Shadow, Tomb Raider, that type of stuff. That company basically got shelved. And that's the problem. Companies are getting shelved. They're getting mismanaged, and then they blame it on the company, and then they're getting shelved, put in a box, goodbye company, right? Like, and it's all based off the mismanagement of their parent company or the higher ups. It's horrible.
It really is. Just not having, you know, that kind of support for the people that make it.
Yeah. This wasn't the first layoff, won't be the last layoff. And if they keep laying people off, there's gonna be no one to work for them. But you know who will be there to work for them? The AI.
Oh my god.
Replacing jobs with AI.
I was not expecting you to go into the AI route.
Cause it's sadly true. And it's not all the jobs, and it's not all the time. But let's face it, higher up companies like Microsoft, Sony, stuff like that, those guys are investing into AI projects. And let's be real, some of them are using AI for either voices or AI for art or AI to take over the small person job, making it hard to even get a job. And if there's no one to get a job, the industry will slowly die. Like the AAA side of it, because we still have the indie games and the small publishers and stuff like that holding us the AA and stuff like that. But a lot of revenue, a lot of renown, you know, a lot of games you heard of are AAA, and that's the problem.
Yeah. It's just, unfortunately, it is something that we will maybe have to, most likely, anticipate for the future of not only gaming, but for quite a lot of creatively involved works.
Luckily, people are pushing back hard enough, and a lot of games that are using AI, at least on a like high scale, are getting pushed back, are getting shut down, and they're starting to realize you can't shove AI into gaming. At least it's becoming less of a problem now. But it still doesn't fix how games are coming up with just poor products. The products are poor, like in general.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I remember Redfall, I remember Battlefield 2042, I remember Halo Infinite. Like, I could list more and more. It's gonna be the same slop, which is not horrible, but mediocre. You know, it's playable at least, or it's gonna be unplayable. Like, or it's gonna be stuff like Suicide Squad, like stuff that people don't want and that they're trying to make. Like, I remember the studios that made Redfall, they make like single player games, stuff like Prey and other games. I haven't played the other games, so
You haven't played the other.
Yeah, but I played Prey at least, right? And they got basically told to make a live service, even though they never made one. And then turns out, whoops, their live service failed. Like, what did they expect? Like, I don't want to be that guy. They probably tried their best. But what they expect, it's already mismanaged. You're already sending the wrong resources to the wrong areas. Like, it's horrible. But not to say it's not all bad. I remember one game that started out horrible. I remember two games. These are the two best success stories. Everybody remembers, trying to think. Everybody remembers Cyberpunk. Like, that's the most prominent one. The second most prominent one of a game starting off really bad and then becoming really, really good. Started off like it was buggy, crashing. Everything that could go wrong did go wrong. Right. And then now look at it. They stayed with the game, they updated it, and now the game's great. But I don't want that happening to every game. You want a game to come out and it to just be finished. Now, being a good game is kind of subjective, so I'm not saying that, but at least from beginning to end, you can play it and finish it without, I don't know, your save being corrupted or this and that. Like, it's a lot. What do you think?
Well, I'm honestly quite the infrequent gamer. I usually don't play a lot of the big titles unless it's stuff from by Square Enix. And it's quite a lot, isn't it? Just a lot of stuff going on in the game industry.
Hold up, I'll be back.
Alright.
And we're back.
Alright. So, after that abrupt break, I think it's time to continue talking about games, but maybe something a bit brighter. What do you think?
What you got?
Alright. How about, in this quite turbulent time for gaming, why don't we talk about some of our favorite upcoming projects that we've been looking forward to by developers.
Alright. Upcoming projects. Got any ones in mind that you're looking forward to?
Have to think about it. Let's see here. Oh, actually, I forgot the name of them. WSS Playground has an upcoming rhythm game based on the Denpa culture, which is basically kind of like otaku culture, but more loser-like. That's a very rough way of describing it.
Very.
And I feel like for anyone that is a fan of Denpa, they would shoot me in the head for describing it as such, because I know it's not the correct way of saying it. But they're making this rhythm game with some pretty interesting songs, not only from their past games, such as Needy Streamer Overload, which you may have heard of.
Yeah, that's a pretty good game.
Yeah, they made that. But as well as a couple other pretty popular anime hits. They have Iosis Toho songs in there, as they show in the trailer, which I'm very much looking forward to. I love Iosis. there's also their other game, which I'm very tempted to buy, but unfortunately only the first chapter has dropped for it, and I'm a little iffy on buying a game, just solely based on that. Like, just only having a portion of the game out. Which is called Boyhood's End. It looks good. I'm very intrigued by the premise of it, and I like the art style. I want to wait a little bit. I want to wait until Chapter 2 drops before I get it.
This is for me to talk about the games I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to definitely Monster Hunter. What was it? Wilds. Yeah, it was Monster Hunter Wilds. I'm definitely looking forward to this. As last Monster Hunter game I played was Rise, because I played 4 Ultimate, I played Rise, and now I want this to be the Monster Hunter I actually fully get into.
I really hope it'll try to be beginner friendly, because I also heard that Monster Hunter Rise was probably the most friendliest game to get into. At least that's what fans told me.
Yeah, but it's also Monster Hunter. I feel like at a certain point you kind of just had to get good. Beginner friendly,
definitely.
Like it should tell you tutorials and stuff, but the game is Monster Hunter. It's gonna be hard for people who've never played Monster Hunter. But it is fun. From what I've seen, I haven't played it because it's not even out yet. But from what I've seen, it looks fun. Yeah, it looks pretty high quality. Hopefully, nothing can go wrong. That's the first game I'm looking forward to. What's the?
Well, as you remember that, I also want to talk a little bit about Monster Hunter, because Monster Hunter is one of those games I really want to get into because it looks so cool, and I'm a big fan of this kind of like explore wilds and try to battle cool as shit monsters. And then also there are these funny critters around. And
I feel like this would be...
It's just really complex to me. That's a bit hard for me to grasp it. Because the thing about me is I mostly play pretty easy to understand games. I play RPGs because that's what I grew up on. And therefore I understand most RPGs. I play puzzle games because usually they have a very easy to understand set of rules and certain logics that they rely on. Monster Hunter is also an RPG, but it's like an action RPG, which is a little harder for me.
I'd say it's not that hard. Like, of course, I play the other half of the games that you don't play, so I have the other half of the puzzle. But I also played the games you do play. So I would say overall, at least from the Monster Hunter I played, because I played Rise, it was pretty easy to understand. Like, I didn't use really any guides or anything. I kind of just played the game. Had a bunch of tutorials, had a bunch of stuff in the hints page, Like, if you take your time and read and don't just jump in there, because if you jump in there, you're just going to die.
Yeah.
I feel like... Yeah, that's what I feel like, at least.
TLDR, I need to get good.
Okay, yeah, but no, but... Like, I understand.
Yeah.
Because I can't just say get good to people. Everyone plays games differently. Heck, there's a bunch of games I struggle on. Like, I can't play rhythm games. Can't do it. Too bad. I remember I went to a friend's house, played some rhythm games. Didn't go that well. So, I would say it's up to you. What's the other game I'm looking forward to? What was it? Which game was it? It was Nordic? Yes. Nordic. This is the second game I'm looking forward to overall. It's from the Yu series. If you haven't heard of it, it's basically just one of the bigger JRPG series.
I see. It is
an action RPG, but it's really popular. I don't know about, like, on a scale of Persona 5 to like some Joe Schmo game you never heard of. This is probably closer to the Persona 5 scale than anything, because this is a very popular series.
Really?
Like, I played this is 10th one.
It does look high quality, so I can see that.
Yeah. They're from the same people that made the third game I'm gonna get into in a little bit. But yeah, this is the 10th game. They've been going strong. My favorite one is the 7th game. But they're all basically your main character, adult, traveling to different places, and this is like his adventure log of his 100 adventures he goes on. And then you just play through each adventure. The games aren't really tied. Think of more like they're tied because they have a main character, and it's the same main character. But there's not any big stuff that ties them together. Different cast, different area each game type thing. Think of kind of like how Final Fantasy does it.
Okay.
It's my favorite use. This was a really good game. I'd say definitely watch it over playing it. And the reason I only say that is just so you can see the game. Because these are like JRPGs, but these are like normal JRPGs. So these are extra long. Some bloat, you know, a lot of side quests, a lot of stuff to do, stuff like that.
Sounds about right. I
but
probably
definitely
will,
something
honestly.
to look forward to. And then my third game is, what is it? Keep forgetting the name of this. Is it Kuro 2? Yeah, it was this game. Yeah. Trails Through Daybreak
Trails.
2. Now, I literally just finished the first game. Literally a couple days ago. And once I heard there was a second game, I had to get on it. This game's coming out, I think it was like, in like a couple months or so. But this game's another JRPG. I think it's made by the same company.
Oh.
Don't know. Don't have it specifically. But you can tell. But it's a turn-based. This series has been going on forever. Like forever and ever. But the game I just played, which is the Trails Through Dawnbreak 1, is super beginner friendly if you want to get into the series. Now, it's still a JRPG, still a traditional JRPG, so it's still hard. You know, even for me. Even though people are saying it's easy, it was still decently difficult. Like, I had random dumb spikes here or there where it just got uber difficult out of nowhere. But yeah, this is the third game I'm looking forward to. Yeah. I would say, overall, there's still games to look forward to. I would say, like...
Oh, for sure.
Don't be like, oh no, all game is bad, games are dying, there's nothing to look forward to, everything's trash. I would say, mostly that just for the AAA stuff. I'm just gonna be dead honest. AAA gamer, most non-single player AAA games, which is most AAA games now, are bad. Like, every single, like, you know, battle royale, every live service, you know, they're bad, or they could be better if they just weren't live servers, or if they just weren't a battle royale, if they just weren't this, or just weren't that. If they're just focused on the game itself, it would be fine.
You know what? You know what? Surprisingly, is probably the best live service I've seen.
What?
Splatoon.
Honestly? Yeah.
Yeah.
They do. They do everything right. Consistent updates. Consistent adding stuff. Kind of crazy but cool.
They got
player
a
base
full-ass world. They got a healthy fan base. They got
on their
a lot
third
of
game.
multimedia stuff. Yeah, third game.
A lot of DLC, a lot of art. Like, that would say that's a good fan base, and that's the thing. That's what I want people to get out. If someone even watches this video long enough to see this, like, it's not over. Just because it's bad, just because it's horrible. I hate when people say there's no good games. For one, that's up to the person.
Yeah.
Everyone has a good or bad game. Now, I get objective stuff like too many microtransactions, the price of games, you know, laying off people, etc., etc. That stuff is factually negatively impacting how we interact with games nowadays. But it's not all over. It's not all over. That's the one thing I want people to get out of this.
Me too. Oh yeah, and actually, since we were talking about RPGs, there's gonna be a new Rune Factory game that's
Oh no.
a little different from the previous entries that I'm very much looking forward to. If I remember correctly, it was called Tales of Azuma. And I love farming game. And even better, it's farming game with fantasy and anime people. There it is, yes.
Let me look this up. I don't... Oh.
Already
Has a Steam page already?
Yeah, it does. Look how...
See,
look at
I don't play Rune Factory for a very specific reason I won't get into, but it does look good though.
Yeah, I can't wait for it because I love farming. I love RPG. This hits both, and also Rune Factory. Yippee! The developers themselves, they're kind of a bit iffy with their releases. They tend to have a bit of some buggy stuff happening, and sometimes they may not be optimized as much as players would like. Like, god damn it, can they make some good characters? Like, god damn it, do I love farming?
Just an ad for a Rune Factory at this point.
Yes. I'm sorry, I'm just very hyped about them. I mean, come on, just look at them.
There's still tons of games. Tons of good player bases.
Even if the game is a little shit, it's okay. You can just cope.
Let's see how hard you can cope.
I am right now.
But... oh no.
I'm overplaying it though. They're good developers. They just get a little buggy sometimes.
But it's not over. There will be good games that come out. There is still good games that are coming out, and there's still older good games that you could play.
Yes, older games.
Like, no matter how you slice it or dice it, like, it's all good. There's one final topic I would like to get into, though.
Yes, do go.
To wrap off this video, I would say, like, emulation. Emulation and owning games. This is the topic we're going into next. What is your whole stance on it? Because you know the whole people are talking about is that, well, if I'm not owning it, you know, well, I forgot the exact statement, but you know, people are pirating more because they realize they're not owning their games; they're just licensing out their games.
Yeah, especially for Steam. For Steam, you are only buying the license; they can always revoke it.
Yeah, that's why you should go on GOG on the down low. But that's the whole thing. How I see it is, it's bad that we're not owning our games and that they can do anything to it and basically never give us a refund. But there is laws working against it. But I feel like it's understandable that people are acting like this. Oh, I don't actually own my game, so
yeah.
Piracy is just not actually on my game too. They're both the same thing. One's spending money, one's not, you know? And I feel like people are moving more into piracy, being a pirate and just getting games that way than playing it normally.
Interesting. It's very interesting how like unique of a topic this is for games, and I'll like compare it to a bunch of other types of media because of how involved video games are, is what I've noticed. Because I mean, there is piracy for, you know, books, movies, whatever.
Yeah.
Or video game piracy, or like emulation specifically. There's stuff that you have to take into consideration with how you're treating the game. Do you want to mod it? Do you want to make it look better? Like, when you pirate a movie, that's it. It's just the movie. But with a game, when you have the game file, when you have the code, you can do so much with it, good or bad. And actually, and in between, technically. And honestly, to me,
yeah.
I believe with how interactive games are, and with how much fans love making mods and shit, especially for older games that may need it, or for fans wanting those mods to restore like possibly scrapped features and whatnot. I think it's okay.
I'm fine with it, because they already have it. This is not a struggling AA, struggling indie. Of course, there's people who pirate those, which I don't fully understand. I'd fully understand the $70 game with a buttload of DLC that you're pirating, not the struggling indie developer. Help the small man out.
Especially if it's a game you can't even buy anymore.
Yeah, like, that's the thing. The preservation of media, too, is also a big part of this piracy conversation. And that's why it links to emulation so well. Because you emulate games, mostly because you can't play it anymore. Or it's not coming out on any consoles and they're just locking it there. But they'll put out cease and desist left and right. They're basically holding it for no reason. Because they're not going to do anything with it.
Mm-hmm.
It's frustrating. It's frustrating.
It is.
Why don't you do anything with the game? Why are you holding it captive for no reason?
There is a reason.
Well, there is a reason, but you know what I mean. It's just that's why I feel like, especially for older games, it's worth.
I honestly, when it comes to emulation and that kind of stuff, I like to treat it, or at least I believe other people should treat it, in a similar way that copyright law in Japan, like between companies and fan artists, treat each other, which is they ignore it. Because technically fan art is illegal, but who cares? Because it's fans enjoying things, and honestly, in its own way, it promotes the original people that make it.
Yeah, like, what are you gonna do? Especially for stuff that you aren't selling anymore. There's nothing you can get out of it. It's not like you're coming out with the super deluxe collection of this super old series on new consoles. You're not. Or games that just won't move to other consoles or won't move to PC because of licensing agreements, or because of they made an agreement with their publisher to not do that. It's frustrating.
Mm-hmm. There's this one game that I've always wanted to play, but my piss old PC cannot play it for just the life of it, called Drakengard, which is only on the PS2, and I've yet to find a copy near me, and it makes me so sad.
And that's why stuff like emulation exists. Like, we have good PS2 emulators nowadays, which you can probably get Drakengard real quick. But if they find out, oh no. Or you gotta trust the emulation site to not do stupid stuff. Like, what happened? We don't have any Switch emulators anymore, from my knowledge, because both of the main two ones got knocked down. Like, I'm talking about the main ones.
Oh yeah.
Yuzu and Ryujinx both got shut down.
Don't forget Citra as well as the other one that they had.
Yeah. All of them are getting shut down. One of them, I forgot which one. One of them were doing stupid, either AI or crypto stuff. One of them was doing stupid stuff. I don't know the full reason for the other one. But both of them getting shut down hurt for me, because I was actively making a series playing Unicorn Overload. And
yes, that one.
The thing went down when I was going to come back and make a video about it. I remember talking about it in my previous video. It went down. So what am I supposed to do? Is it going to come back? Yeah.
Because now
I can't play it.
Speaking of preservation, one of the biggest hits happened very recently with the Internet Archive, where where everything's in a read-only format. You cannot get a lot of these preserved files for emulators anymore because of that.
Yeah. So you gotta hope other people are preserving it, other people are holding it, and that's why it becomes a whole underground thing. It was already underground on the legal down low, but now it's super underground, which makes it harder for people to get into emulation, because you're either gonna get a bunch of viruses, or if you get past that, if you know someone, then it's just going to be extremely frustrating. Hard stuff is going to be down left and right, or people are going to paywall the actual legit stuff, so now stuff is just going to be hold forever. It's frustrating.
It really
I keep saying
is.
frustrating a lot, but it really is.
I wonder when they're gonna make that Persona 2 remake.
It's in the talks. I haven't been keeping up with Persona stuff because I thought Persona 6 was next, and then I was very, very wrong. They came out with all this. Because Persona 3 remake won against Persona 4. Because we know Persona 4 is the, I think, one number 2? Or was it Persona 2? I forgot. One of them won. And Persona 3 was number 1. And then it was like Persona 2 and Persona 4. But yeah, that's a whole nother thing.
That's... It's a little funny how they refused to put in FMC into the Persona 3 remake. So there are so many like wonderful people in the community that have been like working on mods and like art and whatnot just to get her in there.
Yeah. Just trying to think, man. The whole preservation of media thing, it goes completely against what companies want, which is money. Companies want money and companies want power with IPs. So if you're preserving flipping the first ever whatever for people to emulate because they realize playing that's better than playing the new whatever because they're adding all these stupid microtransactions, then they see it as, even if it's the smallest money, it's the smallest bit of power, any power is still power. Especially with Japanese companies, you'll do anything wrong, boom, you're banned for life, you're actually going to jail now, and you can never play that thing again. Like, frustrating.
It's a DMCA, never exist in front of my presence ever again.
Because they can do that. Now, in international court and all, over here in the USA, we got copyright, but they don't got copyright.
I mean,
Japanese...
Japanese copyright law is a lot more extreme compared to ours.
Yeah, that's why I say they don't got copyright. Because it really feels like they just don't got copyright. I mean, they don't got fair use. That's what I meant to say. They got copyright, they don't got fair use. Like, non-existent. You can see that with, like, Nintendo and stuff. That's, like, one of the main examples.
Oh my God. I keep thinking about that patent that they made just for Power Up.
Yeah. It's not gonna get through, probably.
I hope not.
Just the fact that they're trying. Yeah, just the fact that they're trying is frustrating.
Yeah.
Now, because all just comes back to, the downfall of gaming. That's why people are so negative about gaming. It's because all of this stupid stuff is happening. If this wasn't happening and we're still chilling, waiting for the next release of whatever, then, the next live service is actually good and they actually have a solid roadmap. And they're listening to their fans. That's another biggest thing. Places need to listen to their fans. Games needs to listen to their fans. Companies need to listen to, developers listen to their fans. Because I feel like it gets muddied by the shareholders who just want money. And they don't realize a consistent product for live service wise, or a complete product for like single player games, is way better on the long haul than just making a halfway live service or making a buggy, unplayable mess that has 18,000 DLCs of a single player game.
Yeah. Bethesda.
I think that about wraps up all I was thinking about talking about. What about you?
Yeah, I'm pretty good right now too. I think that was solid. Even though, games are shit, companies are fuck. Games be gaming.
Yeah. Games speak gaming. We'll work on that. But
yeah.
I guess we'll go to our ad break and then wrap it up.
Yeah.
Let me pull this up real quick. Should be the scene. Yeah, there we go.
Oh fuck, yeah.
There we go.
Ad. Yeah,
your ad.
So not only am I Say-So Gun, I am Red Amada on just about everything. Although I also go by RNMT, which is basically just my name without the vowels. I do character illustrations mostly. from headshots all the way to full body. I can do multiple types of coloring, although the one you see there to the left is my favorite kind, the very smooth and pretty colorful one. Do commission me because I have open slots. I'll let you know if I'll be taking your commission or if I'm full already. I not only do characters though, I also do a lot more stuff such as character design. I can make pins. I can design emotes. Basically, if you need me to draw any character doing whatever, even multiple characters, I'm your guy. So yeah, reach me out, mostly on DA, mostly on Twitter, a little bit on Instagram, and I also have a coffee, which is unfortunately not set up correctly right now, but it will be in the near future, so please stay tuned for that on my socials.
Yep. All of this would not be possible without them, so please give Ren all the money. Just all of the money. If they stay afloat, I stay afloat, and we all stay afloat, and I can
keep
doing my love.
So I can buy video games. So I can buy Rune Factory, Guardians of Azuma.
Like the scene here. But yeah. This is our first video in this format, so there will be some kinks. This wasn't the best product, but we're gonna keep getting better and better, and hopefully people will stay to support. As always, like, subscribe, please spread the word for both of our names. Everything will be linked in the description for all the socials and all that. As for right now, all I have is just this YouTube. As me personally, I don't want to go on Twitter and all the other stuff, because A, I don't need to, and B, I also don't need to, so
yeah,
just chilling here on YouTube.
I think it's perfectly understandable.
Yeah. That will be all. If you guys like this, tell me down below in the comments. Yeah,